It's not going to be me just teaching everything. This is a mastermind. And who here has looked at the Purium compensation plan and intended a certain rank? What does it actually take to get to executive or red diamond? We're actually going to need to know that. This right here is the diagram, right? In order to get to red diamond, you need a certain amount of executives and diamonds. You need 100 personal order. You need 6 active enrolls. You also need 100,000 points. Executive is 6,000 points. So that's what we have to do. That's the structure. And this is what we get from a financial standpoint. This is the split. And I just want to have you guys imagine what this means. Okay. So think about it in terms of gross sales, because a lot of us think about this, which is money in our bank account, which is great. But eventually, we're going to have a grasp of our business where we actually understand all of the mechanics of it, including how much gross sales are happening in our organization. So a green diamond, right? So just as an example, a green diamond right here, responsible for 30,000 points in revenue. 30,000 points, which in revenue is about $30,000 to $40,000, depending on how many bonus points are in there. So just in your mind, think about that. $40,000 is about green diamond. A business doing $40,000 is a yoga studio, a Pilates studio, a CrossFit gym who has 200 members at $200 a member. Okay, I've had gyms with 200 members at $200 a member. That's $40,000 gross a month. I didn't take home 40,000. There was a lot of bills. I had to pay for the parking lot, the cleaners, music license, coaches, desk person, software, insurance, my own gas and expenses, new equipment, flooring, things would break. I needed to pay for a lot of things for that to happen. My coaches, trainings, and at the end, I was left with a certain percentage. So you're selling as a green diamond. You're responsible for an organization that's selling $40,000 worth of product, and you're getting a commission off that. Now, on this chart is the commission. So at green diamond, we're at $62,000 average. This is an average of actual people throughout the year who are green diamond. The average green diamond made, so 60,000 divided by 12 months is $5,000. So there's a commission that you earn off of that gross dollar. And I can tell you guys, if you own a gym that has 200 members at $200 a pop, you're barely earning that. Sometimes it's negative. Sometimes it's break even. It's mostly just break even. You're just struggling to stay alive. So we're definitely getting commission for that. Now think about that studio. You as the quote owner, I mentioned some of it, desk staff, cleaning staff, all the vendors that provide you the equipment and the nutritional supplements that you might be selling to your clients, your coaches, anybody that's training you, anybody that's training them. There's a lot of people involved in a business like that. It's the same with us. We're running a business. We are in the talent acquisition business. We're also in the customer acquisition business. But to have a business that's doing these sort of numbers, $40,000 a month, look at crown levels. We know crowns have 150,000 points, which is somewhere between $150,000 to $200,000 worth of sales to make up those 150,000 points a month. There is a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of talent that we must acquire. There's a lot of skills. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of responsibility that it takes to be a crown. We're going to talk about that. We're going to brainstorm on what the roles and responsibilities are necessary to achieve each rank. So let's get into it. I've got this that I made. I'm going to move it over here. Let's see if I can make it so you guys can see it fully and completely. All right. So I've got my chat on the screen. So back to that one chart, which I can see, which you guys can't see. But for instance, a consultant, average consultant makes $4,000 a year, which is somewhere around a few $100s a month. That's what an average consultant makes. You guys all know what it takes to be a consultant. You need 1,000 points, at least once, 1 month, 1,000 points, 2 active enrolled. What does it take to get 1,000 points? Most of us knows that it takes 3 customers enrolled in ULT Lifestyle a week. For 1 week, you get to 1,000, or just 4 in a single month on ULT Lifestyle if you're just selling the basic. That's what it takes to be a consultant. Just to give you guys some comparison, $4,000 a year, which is breaking down to in between $300 and $400 a month. This is what I made as a 5th grader mowing lawns. Okay, I needed to know how to push a lawnmower. I did have to talk to my neighbors at least once to negotiate a deal, which was wild. One house was a huge yard that I charged them $5. Another house was a smaller yard. I charged them $20. It was just, I had no skills, but I needed to know how to push a lawnmower and fill it up with gas. That's all I needed to know how to do. And I needed to actually show up and do it. And I'm making $300-400 a month. That's the skills that I needed to make that money. So now we're talking Puriums, right? What skills are necessary for us to maintain the rank of consultant? If you guys can put it in the chat, just consultant. We're not talking about directors. So what sort of skills do we need to achieve consultant? Recruiting customers. They do need to talk to people. Tell friends. Sign up 3. Believe in product. Guys, build leads. Okay, great. We're going to go with that. There is more. There's hundreds of people on this call, I'm sure. Some of you guys are putting consistency. I didn't write down consistency because you actually don't need consistency to be a consultant. Some of you guys wrote down some skills that I would say is further on down the line. Consultants really just need to be able to put people in touch with their upline, a video. They can share a link. That's really all it takes to be a consultant. And thank you guys for sharing. I'm going to be writing down as much as I can and also the most relevance that I can see. So director. So back to what a director does. Directors have 2,500 points per month. They have 3 active enrolls. They can do this all on themselves, on their own. And they make on this list right here, 6,600 a year, according to averages. Of course, I just want to say, just as a disclaimer, I'm talking about averages. You can find our Purium compensation plan on iShare Purium. Just click on our opportunity, scroll down. There's a full compensation plan. You can see these numbers I'm talking about. It's at the end of the compensation plan. The second to last page and the third to last page, we have these averages. These are averages. You guys know what averages means. The average director, $6,000, $6,600 a year, which is around $500-600 a month. Okay. What responsibilities and roles do directors need? You guys, most everybody on this call knows this. It's going to start getting interesting when we get to the higher ranks because not all of us have been there. So now we have recruiting, sharing with warm market, communication, invite to Zooms, train customers. That was good. That's a good one. Talk to more people. Customer service. Great. So when you guys are looking at this, I'm going to do something. Because we know that you don't ever stop doing what I'm just going to put this one up. We don't ever stop doing what we did before, right? So it's almost like we add on to it because it's still going to be in our wheelhouse that we're doing what a consultant does when we're a director. Executives on this chart are making a little over $1,000 a month. That's 6,000 points a month that they're responsible for. $1,000 a month is an executive. Think about the skill level of what you would need to be an executive. So those of you who are executives, so I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to be, oh no, we're going to be doing everything that we did before. What is going on? There we go. So what do executives do? Bring at least one brand partner. Enroll BP. That's good. Build a team. Retention. Fast start. Widen your reach. Consistency. Go live. Someone said cold calling. Share because you care. Show up to trainings. Follow up. Collab. Referrals. All right, I'm going to stop there. That was good. Now, next we have up Diamond. So Diamond is 15,000 points. And the average Diamond is making $32,000 a year, which is almost $3,000 a month. Okay, so now we're talking about, like in the gym analogy, this is a personal trainer, a yoga teacher who's coaching classes. You might have a few private clients, you know, before the gym owner, and they're making 3,000, 4,000. That's another way. So we also know, if I go back to this, we also know that diamonds need what? So things change at diamond level. And what changes at diamond level is structure. Diamonds need 3 consultant legs. And just to give you guys a projection of this, so we have 15,000 points. What that means is you will have 15,000 points in your organization, and you're going to have 3 legs. 3 legs. And somewhere in these 3 legs, there's going to need to be a consultant. So you might have one leg that you enrolled somebody who didn't do anything except enroll. So you have Sammy, who didn't do anything but enroll Jenny. And Jenny didn't do anything but enroll Harry, which is all good. Anyone can do whatever they want with this. It's a volunteer army. But Harry has 2,000 points and 5 customers. So Harry is a consultant. And this whole leg has around 2,000 points. It's a consultant leg. You might have another leg that's an executive leg with 7,000 points. And you might have another leg that has 7,000 points as well. That is another executive leg. So you have 2 executives and a consultant. And we need at least bare minimum 3 consultants. So you qualify for a diamond with 15,000 points. You have 2,000, 7,000, 7,000, plus your customers. And we have plus your other brand partners that we didn't talk about. You have 15,000 points. You're starting to build an organization. Now, the cool thing about diamonds is that that sets the framework for what's next. And what's next after diamond is green diamond. Green diamond, those 3 legs are going to evolve into 3 directors. So in the previous example, you had 1 consultant, 2 executives. You would need that 3rd leg that was consultant, or that first leg that was consultant, to be director, at least. It doesn't matter how many points are in the other 2 legs. This is minimum. You could have 16 legs, but at least 3 of them need to be director in order for you to qualify. Then what's next? Blue diamond. Look at blue diamond. Can you guys see my cursor, by the way? I just want to know if I'm circling things. Kim's saying yes, I'm circling 3 executives. All right. So blue diamonds have 3 executives. So those 3 director legs evolve to 3 executives. In order to be black diamond, 75,000 points down here. And now at least one of those executives needs to rank up to become a diamond, and a diamond is here. So now if you're a black diamond, you're having your organization evolve to become leaders themselves. Red diamond, we've got 3 legs, 2 of which are diamonds, 1 is an executive. Crowns, you have all 3 diamonds, but now there's 2 different colored diamonds here. So even though they're kind of both bluish, look at the diamond color above blue diamond. So in order to be crown, you need one of your legs needs to be blue diamond, 50,000 points, 3 executives. And then you need 2 other legs that are diamond, 15,000 points, 3 consultants. So when you get into the diamond levels, there's going to need to be leadership. And that leadership comes from you. So with all of that said, especially those who have gotten through the diamond ranks, which I just want to, there's a question here. Do consultants needs to be your direct downline or anywhere in the organization? As I was saying, they don't have to be your direct, but they need to be in different legs. So you can have 4 consultants all in the same leg. So you enrolled Jack, who enrolled 3 consultants, who enrolled 3 brand partners that became consultants. That leg would only count for 1 of your consultant legs because that's Jack, who is direct to you. You would still need other brand partners that you're developing. And that all goes deeper into the compensation plan. I'm just giving the framework of what skills we would need to develop those consultant legs. So what skills are necessary as a diamond, especially those who are diamond? Let's answer that. And actually, let's just leave it to those who are at diamonds to answer this. So we've got leadership. We never saw that before. Coaching skills. We never saw that before. Team training. These are good. Coachable. Time management. Leading by example. Personal development. This one's good. Interpersonal skills. So anything that starts with inter, so that's good enough for diamond, guys. Anything that starts with inter, like international, means like multiple. So interpersonal skills means communicating with others. So green diamond, and we're actually just going to combine green diamond, blue diamond, black diamond, red diamond. So anybody that has ranked above diamond, when I tell you, we're going to start listing out. And this is helping everybody, you guys. This is, as I was saying, we are all learning from each other here. Some of us has been through this, some of us haven't. And so you guys see that we're adding to the list because we need these skills. And also I want to put a disclaimer. that it might not look like this. Remember, we're a group, we're collectively coming up with this list. You guys might make it to 4-star crown without the ability of customer service. It might happen. Probably not, but it might happen because you might recruit a stellar team who can cover some bases that you don't have capacity in. So now we're on to, just for sake of keeping it, instead of us being redundant, we're going on to what happens in the higher diamond rank. So green diamonds through, so I'm just going to go back to green diamonds through red diamonds. So now we're in these are some serious numbers. Red diamond is 100,000 points per month. Per month. It's not a cumulative thing. It's a per month thing. Black diamonds, its organizations are responsible for 75,000 points per month. These people have built organizations that are generating 6 figures of gross revenue every single month. And because of that, they're getting also paid a healthy salary. Red diamond, 167,000 average in the year that this was taken. 13,000, in between 13,000 and 14,000 a month. Black diamonds, just over $10,000 a month. Blue diamonds, green diamonds, these are in between $5,000 and $10,000 a month for being able to manage an organization that's selling $40,000 to $150,000 every single month. I'm just laying out, and we're using our collective wisdom to talk about what sort of actions that takes. What sort of responsibilities do we have? Okay. So green diamond to red diamond, what sort of skills do we need? What sort of responsibilities do we have? For the person that mentioned vacation, are you at the rank that we're talking about? I'm not sure. I don't think so because of the word they. So let's keep it to the people that are green diamond to red diamond. What things do you utilize? Lay out plan, which is amazing. Okay, zooming in didn't work. I was trying to help, but it didn't work. Leadership, which just came up before. Time management, amazing. I've got people saying systems. I'm going to put that into crown. So I'm going to just leave that there. Strong DMO, what that means is a daily method of operation. It's what you're doing every day. What we're actually doing right now is creating the plan. Weekly training calls. I'm going to actually put the word attending here. Communication. Yeah. So I'm going to actually up communication to presentation. Presentation and promotion. That's the advanced level of communication. All right, you guys want me to zoom in on this? That's as much as I got. Pre-qualify, so this is a technique. Pre-qualifying skills. So some of us who are consultants have no idea what that means. You'll find out. Set a roadmap I covered with so I saw delegation, which I think I've already said as well. Collaboration. Great. Okay. So now we're going to, the next thing we're going to do is crown. But before we go into that, you guys know what we've been doing. I'm going to go back to this. Crowns, big money here. They're not getting paid this for nothing. Big money, $180,000 a year. That's 15 G's a month. $300,000 a year. This is like doctor type money. Think about the responsibilities of a doctor, the roles that they're responsible for. Crowns, I mentioned earlier, they have diamonds underneath them. They have blue diamonds underneath them. And just like the diamonds increased, the amount of blue diamonds you need at every crown rank goes up. There's also a 50% rule, which I'm not going to get into right now. But you can go studying the compensation plan and asking questions and figuring out what that means. But the amount of blue diamonds increase at every crown level, just as the amount of points necessary. 5-star crown is 500,000 points. $500,000-ish of sales that's happening in your organization. For those of us who are crown, and so the rest of us can benefit off of this, what tasks are, I'm just going to put plus everything else, but what sort of tasks do we need? I'm putting systems here now. Systems. Incentives. Guys, an incentive would be that you're actually incentivizing your downline to perform. A definition of a leader that I really like is you inspire others to do activity that they otherwise wouldn't have done on their own. A leader inspires action from others that they otherwise wouldn't have done on their own. This is why professional coaches exist in sporting teams. Any other, all right. So this is one that we just built also with our team. Let's look at what we have. Crowns, create system. Oh, conflict resolution we never brought up. They make sure the teams know the promotions. They check metrics. Those are good. Those are good, right? So conflict resolution. You have an organization, a team of humans. There's conflicts that happen with themselves. There's also conflicts that happen just in general with customers. Before I get on to that, I'll talk about it right now. Think about this, guys. You guys have heard the saying, the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck, right? The bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. What does that actually mean in our business? So check out director. We already went over the numbers. We already went over the responsibilities. Think about a problem, like a director level problem, or even a consultant level problem. I'll think of one. Needing to know where the recording of this Zoom is. How many of us who are diamonds and crowns get a text from someone in our downline that say, hey, where's the recording for the Zoom call last night? How many of us are actually the ones sending those texts? That's, I'd say, like a consultant or director level problem. Remember, and so if those are the problems that you're offloading to somebody else who knows how to solve those problems, then they get paid the diamond money for solving your problem. You don't get paid that money because you can't master this problem. So what would like a diamond level problem be, or a crown level problem? A diamond or a blue diamond level problem would be, how do I enroll? It's not really a problem, but it's like something to solve. How would I enroll an executive with 7 days left in the month and get them through? How would I enroll a brand partner with 7 days left in the month and get them through Fast Start Executive? Somebody who's in the diamond ranks would know how to solve that problem, and they would have Fast Start Executives within a week. There's people on this call right now that I know have done that. I've enrolled somebody and in 3 days, Fast Start Executive with no MLM experience. It's possible to do this. If you're able to solve that type of problem, then you're able to maintain your leadership ability. Can you solve your customers' problems? So if you're offloading the problems, you're not going to be able to attain those ranks. Now, there's something, if you guys noticed that this last slide was shaded. You guys never noticed, like before consultant is associate builder. It goes associate builder, consultant, director, executive. So that's called getting through your A, B, C, Ds, and E's. Associate, director, consultant, director, executive. And those are terms that are borrowed from corporate America, right? You're a director. You know how to direct people. You're an executive. You have some sort of ability to execute. Then we go into the higher levels diamonds. So I wrote this stuff down. When you're in your A, B, C, D, and E's, you're learning by doing. Notice there's nowhere on here that's learning by watching, because that's an associate. That's someone who's not in action. That's just became a brand partner. That's to the left of this chart. You learn by watching a Zoom. You learn by reading a blog post. When you're actually consultant, director, executive, you're actually doing something. So you're learning by doing. In your diamond levels, you're mastering and refining the actions that you're doing. And when we come to crown, you're leading through consistency, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. We never stop. So that's the plan. Now we have to talk about how we would develop those skills. And this is for the entire field. Again. Oh no, I'm not in my, I think you guys can still see this. So now I'm editing it. So let's make a list. I'll start the list. Reading network marketing books. I would never think I can open a business without knowing the business. And so reading books. What else do we got, guys? Coachable, trainings, mentors. This is helping everybody, you guys. There's some things that we might not have thought about. Zooms, self-development, live events, self-motivated. That means that you strengthen that voice in your head. Guys, how do we develop the skills? Convention, development. So remember earlier I talked about talent acquisition. So how do we acquire talent, ourselves included, and how do we strengthen the talent? Okay, I'll give you guys some more. Podcasts. Observe is a good one. Where are we observing? Associations. Good one. Are you friends with other successful people, both in Purium and in this profession. Connect calls is another way. Audible books. And something that I would like to leave with everybody, so we'll stop there. Make sure that your social media, I'm not sure if I'm spelling that right. It's not spelled right. Social media algorithm. Make sure that your social media algorithm is trained for you to benefit from being on your phone. It's not car crashes and cat videos and just that stuff and cooking videos and yoga videos, whatever it is. We train our social media. When we start following experts in the industries, mentors, that's the sort of stuff that pops up. So when you pick up your phone, that's what pops up. Now, before we go on anymore, I'm just going to review what we went over just so I'm not missing anything. Trial and error was something that interview people. Okay. Everything that we made with that big list is exactly what it takes to be at a certain rank, right, guys? So we heard from people that are actually diamonds, and we know that that's what takes to be there. So that's a plan. There's a book called Choose Your Enemies Wisely. You don't necessarily need to read it right now, but in that book, it just so happens to be the book I'm reading now. Carol recommended it. It's an amazing book for where I'm at. And there's a list in there. Business plans fail because of these 6 things: not having a plan, not examining last year's plan, not having an enemy to fuel you, like rocket fuel, which is what the whole book is about, failing to integrate emotion and logic in the current plan. So emotion is like your why you're doing this emotionally, something that tears you up. You have an enemy that you're facing, whether it's corporate America or that person that told you that you can't do this and you don't have what it takes. And that's what a lot of the book is about. We're going to focus on the first 2 that I have underlined, not making it a living document. So we're talking about the plan. Like I just made the plan. We're not making a living document and using it to manage ourselves, to make sure that we're going through this list, make sure that we're acquiring these skills and teaching these skills to others and not sharing it publicly. So nobody, or not sharing it to somebody else so that somebody can hold you accountable. So the first 2 on this list, not having a plan and not examining last year's plan. So not having a plan, we just kind of made a rough plan, very rough, but you have the ranks there. Now, what's the second one? Not examining last year's plan. If we were in a corporate business, everything would be broken down into quarters. And actually, if you guys join the Green Diamond and Above calls or the Crown calls, we do talk about the quarters of the year. And right now we're going into the 4th quarter. Not really. October, November, December is the 4th quarter. But once we finish this year, we're ending the 3rd quarter. But we would be confronted with the board in corporate America and our investors, and we would get to explain to them whether we hit our projections or not. And for us, being the CEOs of our own company, we should be reviewing our plan and reviewing it often. So if you guys remember back to January 1st of this year, what's your report? What did you intend to do this year or this quarter? Are you on track? And if you're not on track, if we're missing our marks in corporate America, you don't, I mean, you can just show up and say, hey, we've missed. But if you're with a publicly traded company, that's extremely devastating because your investors are going to start jumping. And once they start jumping, the stock prices go down and the company starts to crash, not because of the performance, but it was because of the response. What responsibility, the ability to respond, the response to it, just being casual with it. Oh, we didn't hit our mark. As opposed to the CEO that stands up and says, we didn't hit our mark. This is where we failed to meet our expectations. This is why. And this is our plan to the future. This is us renegotiating the target. And we're moving forward to hit that in this quarter. And if we can start talking to ourselves that way, where we have a clear plan and we execute like an executive, like that actual namesake means, and we start to execute these skills, then we will one day find ourselves with a large organization. Here's another book, one of my favorites by Stephen Kotler, The Rise of Superman. This is all about flow state. Now, there's an ingredient list for flow state. If there's 7 of these things happening, then you're in the flow. You know, you're that basketball player that can't miss. Or, you know, you guys, it can happen in the office as well. And these are the 7 things necessary for that to be triggered. We're going to focus on the first 2. The first 2 is intensely focused attention. And both of these lists, this one and the last one, this is how the list came. I didn't restructure the list, but the first 2 in both these lists, they're the first 2 for a reason. The second one, clear goals. And I'll just go through the rest of this. Immediate feedback, meaning that the things that you do, you immediately get feedback. Did the client sign up or not? A challenge that's slightly greater than your capacity. So if you are looking at that roles and responsibility list and you're like, I don't know how to do any of this, great. What stuff is just barely in your reach? Figure it out one step at a time. And you pushing your boundaries is actually where you're the closest to your greatest performance when you're in flow state, when you're actually 3 or 4% above your capacity. You're forced to perform there. There's high consequences. So a consequence doesn't necessarily mean bad. A consequence, guys, what's the consequence of being a 3-star crown? $400,000 a year? That's a high consequence. Wouldn't you agree? You perform these tasks, there's a high consequence. Or the other end, you continue on maybe a road that you're not happy with. So there's very high consequences with what we're doing. If we notice them, if we realize that that's our goal and we're attentive to it. Rich environment is where you work. How is that? Are you distracted? And deep embodiment. That's the why. It's the reason why you're doing it. But back to intensely focused attention, because I think that this is one of the things that everybody will benefit from. There's a lot of times when our backs are against the wall, like for Caro and I, our backs were against the wall. We were, without getting too much into our story, but we were not doing well financially. And we're both from like she had a white collar career. I was a former gym owner. We were investing partially into Purium, kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And that led us into, we only have one choice but to make this work. And sometimes that back up against the wall, that gift of desperation is what makes you focus. But there's other ways. If your back isn't against the wall and you still want to be successful without going into a deep hole, then it's just making sure that your attention's focused and you have a clear goal. So we're going to do this exercise that I talked about. You guys, nobody's writing in the chat anymore. We're going to have a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, and we're all going to do this. It's going to take us 2 minutes. So right now, when you're looking at this, you guys should all have this memorized immediately. This exact same framework. My name is Ra. I am, maybe I don't have it memorized. I am 41, about to be 42. I am 41 years old. Ventura is where I live. So guys, don't write it down. If you wrote it down, rip off the piece of paper and throw it away from you, like Kobe it across the room. Don't have it written down. Have it memorized. My name is, I am, is where I live. We're practicing doing one of these skills. So if you know how to do one of these skills, if you know how to answer one of these problems, we're going to use these 3 sentences as those skills. So I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds to make sure you have this memorized. Have your pen in your hand. My name is, I am, the exact sentences. Okay, you have that memorized? Okay, write it down. I see some people not writing. Danielle. She already wrote it down with it already on the board. I would rip that piece of paper and write it down again. Guys, if you wrote it down with it up on the screen, it doesn't actually work. It doesn't demonstrate what we're doing. All right. Is anybody not done? All right, good. So that was like 30 seconds. Just to give you guys should all know it by now. My name is, I am, this is where I live. Take the piece of paper, either rip it out and throw it away from you so you can't see it, or just flip to the back of your notebook so you can't see what you wrote before. We're gonna write the exact same thing. So you just performed 3 tasks. You wrote down 3 sentences. This time, don't write it down yet. Don't start yet. This time, you're going to write down the first letter from the first sentence, then the second letter from, or then the first letter from the second sentence, and then the first letter from the third sentence. Then you're going to write down the second letter from the first sentence, the second letter from the second sentence, the second letter from the third sentence. Then you're going to write down the third letter from the first sentence, the third letter from the second sentence, the third letter from the third sentence. My name is, I am this many years old, is where I live. Go. You start with the first sentence, and you go to the second sentence, first letter. I see some people looking at the screen. My name is, I am this many years old. The city that you're in is where I live. So I can tell just by your guys' faces that you're highly concentrating, you're having a difficult time doing this. Michael Mays is deep in thought. All right. I'm going to stop us all there because I don't want to sit here for another 10 minutes while you guys figure this out. What does this demonstrate? Okay, we can stop, guys. We all know that just writing down first sentence, second sentence, third sentence was way faster than one letter, do another task, and then do another task. So this is, oh, I need to call that person to follow up. But on the way to my phone, I saw that the dishes were not done. So I'm going to do just this one little plate, so that I can focus on the call better. And then I'm like, oh man, I just spilled some water on the floor. So I'm going to also clean up the water. And okay, so I'm going to go to my room or my office to make the phone call. And it's like, oh, my bed's not clean. I might as well make my bed. So, guys, I looked up, I tried finding like an exact study. There isn't really an exact study for this. There is, but what I mean is, I couldn't find just one. They all say different things, but it's anywhere from like 400 to 500% more efficient if you do things one thing at a time. Multitasking, essentially, according to the science, doesn't work. And even though we all have the ability to multitask, just like if I were to sit here long enough, you guys would have all eventually wrote down these 3 sentences because you know how to write down the sentences. You know how to solve this problem. You know what your name is. You know how to write down the name. I am this many years old. You know how to write down this third sentence. You know how to do it. But doing one letter at a time, doing a little bit from each thing is going to take you 500% longer to do. And you're going to expend that much more energy. This is to demonstrate the importance of staying focused. Okay? You get to do that. We don't have a boss in this business. We don't have a boss. You get to be this person that keeps you on focus. So we were just at personal development. It was the Summit of Greatness by Lewis Howes. So we brought a bunch of personal development and business development leaders this last weekend. And there was a branding expert that they do the branding for like Lewis Howes, Ed Milet, like all these big names. These people that you know, when you turn on your Instagram and these people are everywhere, they all work with branding agencies. And one of the most important part of this one guy's presentation was that our potential customer is the person who was just like us. So if we've lost 50 pounds, us making content and making a message and a call to action to those who would like to lose 50 pounds, we're best suited to serve that person. Or on a personal level, if you're an immigrant, you're best suited to help other immigrants. If you're, once upon a time, if you were an executive, you're the one best suited to help out those executives with their current problems, with them developing their skills. We all get better the more tasks that we do at each one of these ranks. So that's why I took and I copied everything that we do as a consultant. We also do it as a director. And we start in the diamond, we start mastering those so we can teach them. And then we're leading. Leading just doesn't mean teaching. The difference between leading, another definition, is that leaders create other leaders. So you're creating diamonds that can create executives, and you're creating diamonds that can create diamonds. And you going through these tasks and these skills and taking these responsibilities are what is going to best facilitate your team going through this as well. And so your organization is a reflection of you. And that's how it's always going to be. It's going to be a reflection on what chosen responsibilities you're taking and you're developing yourself, how much attention you can put to it. Are you able to set clear goals, review your goals, develop new goals, and then teach others how to go through it? This is what we do. Everyone enrolls customers, everyone enrolls brand partners. At the higher levels, we're just doing more. And so make the plan, do the plan, review the plan, stay consistent in that, master it, and lead others to do the same. And for those of us who are in the higher ranks or have done this either in another job or even another network marketing company, we get the benefit of realizing how important of a task this is. This is us developing society around us. We're climbing up the hill, we're turning around, we're extending a hand, and we're helping others climb up with us. There's no way that we can be a crown without taking a team with us. There's no way that we can be a diamond without taking a team with us. We can do that at executive. We can. And it's our choice whether we're going to jump into and master the profession and be paid as a professional, but also have the responsibilities of a professional. Professionals practice every single day. Even on their days off, they're still adding value to themselves, in our case, our organization. And so I'm going to leave it with that, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for participating. It's been an amazing job from all of us. And take care. See you guys the next time. Keep that whole list in mind. Bye-bye, everybody.